success is a journey. And I was sharing earlier that goals often have a very narrow focus. And so a few years ago, I was doing some work for a company and they wanted me to do goal setting for their leaders. So I had to send like bullet points in about what I was going to talk about. And a lot of that was what I'm going to talk about with you guys. And the feedback I got was, well, so it's not all about like the company and the promotions that we're offering and promoting to a next level or whatever. And I said it is. There's a lot of that in there, but there has to be something underlying that drives people to want to achieve those goals. So it's not sometimes it's, the trophy, the badge, or whatever, but it's more than that. And so I got some interesting feedback on that. Actually, they ended up letting me do it kind of my way, and you let me know in the comments if that sounds familiar. Oh, and the problem with goal setting is, as I find it in the direct sales industry, or really if any industry, if you're working for a boss, like corporate America doesn't even talk about this. Like your goal is not to get fired, right? Is that they want you to set goals that fill their needs or serve their needs. And really, at the end of the day, you need to set goals that fill your needs because you're building a life here. And whatever company you're working for, you may love the products and you serve other people through it. And it fills your bucket and is very exciting. But you're building a life through this company. The company is a vehicle, not the ends of the game. And a lot of companies have a hard time swallowing that pill because they think, they're it. They are how you achieve your goals, not their goals. So I'm bracing for the hate mail on that. But anyway, so here's a workshop that I've taught for 15 or 20 years. Y'all probably all seen it. It's the Wheel of Life. And I like this one, but in the last couple of years, I've really expanded on it beyond this. So the deal is what you do is you grade yourself 0 to 10 on all these things. Environment is very important. Sometimes people think environment, is my house nice? Absolutely. And so people come to this from different vantage points. If you're thinking that the question is my house nice? Kudos. Some people are thinking, is my house safe? Is it chaotic? Is it stable? Right. And so this is a deep, deep question here um, for a lot of people. And if you live in a chaotic environment that doesn't feel safe, that doesn't have continuity from day to day, it's very hard to achieve lasting success because it's just crazy all the time. Family, sure, got great relationships. We get together every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. Check that box, right? I give myself a 8 on that. Finances, sure thing. I've got if you're in your 20s, 30s, 20s, I've got my 2.5 months, my 3 months in salary in case I get laid off from my job or whatever. For some of the rest of us, it might be, or am I saving for retirement effectively? What does that look like? So you're going to grade yourself on that. Personal growth. This is a great question. I'm hugely growth oriented, which is why I've taken so many classes over the last 2.5 or 3 years on personal development. But I did it for my betterment so that I could grow. Often we think of personal growth as what should I be doing? We're just checking boxes all day long. Yep, personal growth, took that class, did that thing, whatever. So personal growth, you're going to evaluate yourself. Career, most people are like, yep, killing it. 10 out of 10, killing myself, working so hard. This would probably be a 9 out of 10 on that, which is great. But we need balance again at the end of the day. Health. I'm going to come back to this one because health is so huge, and it's one little thing out of 8 here. Social. Do I have relationships? Do I have friends? Do we hang out? Okay, sure, that's great. Do they uplift you, fulfill you? Like, who is in your crew? And this is so important. Do they encourage you and challenge you to be better than you are? I had probably my best friend in the whole wide world. We were talking the other day. She messaged me and she said, I'm seeing a counselor, and y'all, if you're not seeing a counselor, I don't know what's wrong with you because you should be. Everyone needs a third party objective. It can be a coach, life coach, whatever. You need to have conversations with people outside of your bubble. And she said, my counselor told me that I needed a friend who would call me on my BS. And she said, so I'm calling you to call me on my BS. I was like, anytime. And also call me on my BS anytime. Because we all have stories that we tell ourselves and patterns that we settle into, and we need someone to challenge us. So the social isn't just, do you have a social group that you hang out with? Are they helping you become better than you are? Are they helping you rise to the level of your potential? This is all sidebar stuff. And then spiritual. Yeah, spiritual. I give myself a 9 out of 10. I am front row every Sunday morning. That is awesome. And for so many people, religion and spirit, that version of spirituality or that side of spirituality fulfills a number of things. Definitely spirituality, connection with God, socialization, feeling like you are part of something greater than yourself, but it's more than that. And so as I look over this old wheel, those are the things that occurred to me. And then over the last 2.5 years or so, oh, the question is your wheel round? This wheel would not be really round. We'd have this big bump down here on career. So it would be a little bit, a little bit out of balance, we might say. So I want to talk about this health piece. And what we don't talk about is the mental and physical health aspect. And, when we're 25, most of us, it's all fine. We don't worry about anything. You move through your 30s. And again, we're just moving through, checking boxes, doing all the things. Are we buying the right car seats for the kids? Do they have the right toys? Are we playing the right music? Are they in the right schools? And we're just running all the time to catch up. And so, here's hopefully a moment for you to ask yourself, yeah, how is my mental, physical? And I'll tell you, physical for women means skinny and men means muscular. That's really not what it means, by the way. That is societal beauty norms. And that has nothing to do with health or wellness. And I'm not a health or wellness expert, not a physical health, wellness, or I'm no kind of expert. I'm going to have some people on later in the series, but here are the things that I have observed over my personal journey in the last couple of years. And also 53 is just really not that nice. Like all kinds of weird stuff happens. I got charged a lot of money for waxing today. We won't talk about that. Anyway, so if you take that health wheel and you blow that up, because it's just like one little piece of the puzzle. So if you take that and you expand it, there's a whole nother wheel within that. One, and I put it first and foremost, is hobbies and fun. Kids have fun. They do things for fun all the time. As adults, we don't do things just for fun. Everything serves a purpose. Everything checks a box. Everything fulfills or moves our career forward, our spouse's career forward. Everything has an agenda. We just don't do things because we enjoy them. And I think of hobbies. My husband is an excellent golfer. He couldn't break, I'd have to ask him, something that was ridiculous because he's a super overachiever too. But he considered golf a hobby for him for years. Golf was never a hobby. Golf was a handshake in the business world, and he felt like he should be good at it and good enough at it. And so he hates it. He literally rage quit. He threw his golf clubs out with the trash. They were nice golf clubs, right? So what is it that you do just for fun that makes you happy? I like to color. Also, I like to blow bubbles. Does it produce anything? No, not really. I'm an excellent colorer. But we need those things. I like to garden. I like to cook. So what are the things that bring you joy, that fill your bucket, fill your cup? We don't talk about this enough. Self-care is another piece, and this is a very complicated piece. Self-care is, are you going to the doctor regularly? Are you being checked for things? But it again is the things that refill your spirit, your cup. Is that a bubble bath? Is that a walk in the woods? Is that hiking? But it needs to be something that you do just because it fills you up, fills your cup. And there's a million things. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you do for actual self-care? I am a skincare spa junkie. Y'all might know that about me. I love it. I love going to the spa. I love a great enzyme mask. I love doing my skincare. Yeah, I love a great bubble bath with a beautiful soak. That stuff makes me happy. If it doesn't make you happy, that's okay. But find the things that you do and you just sit in peace and tranquility because these are key to keeping your reservoir full so that you can pursue all the goals that you profess to want. But we can't run on an empty tank. And taking care of ourselves is part of the gas in the tank. It's also part of your mental health is to take a step back, take a breather and do something that replenishes you. Your daily rhythm and balance. Y'all, I am a scheduled person. My husband will say, "What are you doing today?" I'm like, "I have no idea. Got to look at the calendar." We can be overscheduled, and so many of us are overscheduled. We're just running and gunning. We're trying to do all the things for the kids. Like we live more for our children, which is a good thing, but you have to live for you too. So, you work all day, you come home, you pick them up, you blow through the drive-through, it's karate and gymnastics and whatever, and home at 10 o'clock and then banging out homework. That's exhausting. Your body likes a schedule, but it needs a little bit of respite. Your mind, your spirit needs a little bit of respite, a little bit of calm. So as we're goal setting, so much of the time it's all about shooting for the moon and we have no mental or physical true goals for ourselves. Food and nourishment. How many of you skip meals? How many of you don't eat breakfast, don't eat lunch? Here was my grand plan because you can do anything again at 25, 27 years old. I would get up, I would down a half a pot of coffee, and I would eat about 3 o'clock right before I did school pickup, right before I thought maybe, whoo, I feel weird, a little bit wonky, my blood sugar's low. It's an excellent plan. It's really not. So food and nourishment, pulsing things into your body, fueling your passion, fueling your body, fueling your mind, fueling your brain, fueling your spirit, so that you can do all the things that you want to do. Success is built on a solid foundation. And if you're not eating on a regular basis, and I know, again, the societal beauty standards, we all want to be thin, but you have to have nourishment too. And is it quality nourishment? I love to cook, and I am a scratch cook, not necessarily by design, but because I'm allergic to everything. My friends call me the bubble boy. I'm allergic to you name it, just the craziest stuff. And so I have to scratch cook everything. It is time consuming. I do work from home, thank the Lord, and I'm able to do that. But what are you fueling your body with? What's in it? Look up some of those ingredients. Are you even drinking water on a regular basis? People say to me, "Oh, I hate drinking water." You're 80% water. If you're not having it, there's a serious problem here. So food and nourishment, and this is all under that health wheel where they just go health. God, it's so nuanced. The mind, body, spirit connection. And this is something I've learned in the last 2 years doing yoga. Meanwhile, not pretzel yoga. I can't bend myself in half. That's not what yoga really is. The Eastern discipline of yoga really is about understanding that the mind affects the body, and the body affects the mind, and the spirit affects it all. And I was thinking of a quote earlier in preparation for this that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Your spirit is that piece of you. And again, we're not talking about, do I go to church? Do I pray? Whatever. It is that piece of you that is eternal. Are those things in alignment? Because the mind can drive the body, it can override the spirit. And sometimes we might be doing something that I'm not saying anything wrong, but you do something that at first feels great, you like it, you're really excited about it, but at some point it doesn't align with your spirit, with your ethics, with who you are, right? We've all had that feeling, and we can be very, very tired. Our spirit can be broken, and that will cause a physical exhaustion, mental fog, all three pieces of those are supposed to be integrated. And here in the West, we're like, no, run the body for as long as it can run and then sleep for 3 hours and the whole spirit connection, whatever. We don't even pay attention to that. We don't listen to what is our moral compass. Um, and what really fuels us. That's where the passion comes from, is in your spirit. You're here for a reason. So you got to find that. And if what you're doing doesn't align with that, it's time to spend a little bit of time with that concept of, I feel tired, bone weary, depleted. Okay, what's out of balance? Is the mind exhausted? Is the body exhausted? Is the spirit exhausted or ignored? Physical exercise. I love this one. This isn't pumping iron in the gym. It really is just movement. The body needs to move. I try and get my 10,000 steps in each day. But again, physical exercise kind of dives back into the societal beauty norms. If I exercise, I'm physically fit, and look, if you are, that is fantastic. Again, not my area of expertise, but movement is incredibly important. And we're very sedentary in the Western culture. We sit at a computer. Any chance I get, like if you ever do coaching with me, people sometimes like to do it video, Zoom. I would far prefer to get on the phone because I can get up and walk around. They can get up and walk around. We spend so much time sitting in front of a computer. So before you beat yourself up that you're not working out in the gym 3 days a week, are you moving your body in gentle ways? And I, again, love yoga. I used to eye roll yoga, and God will get you all the time. He'll teach you every chance he gets. I used to absolutely eye roll yoga. And now it is this haven that I retreat to. I have a bulging disc that I'm battling right now, and yoga is great for that. It is gentle movement. Instead, we think if I'm going to be physically fit, I got to go to the gym and get on the Stairmaster or whatever hellish contraption they're pushing people towards these days. But it just really is moving the body and going back to that mind-body connection. It is unbelievable. So I will tell you all, if you're following the series, I've been dealing with anxiety, and I'm not a person who is anxious. I have seen all kinds of things. Nothing makes me anxious. But I have been anxious for the last couple of years, and it's unbelievable how much breath work will absolutely change your body's response, because that response is a mind spirit response to something, and your poor body is just the outlet for it, where you feel anxiety, your heart rate's high, blood pressure's high, whatever. So gentle things work just as well. I'm not going to teach you how to be a swimsuit model. I'm just here to say, be kind to your body, move it around a little bit, and don't be so hard on yourself. Sleep. This was a huge one for me. We tell ourselves, oh, I can run on no sleep. Yeah, you could at 20, and you can do it at 30, and you can do it at 40, and you might be able to do it at 50 or 60. It takes a toll on you. Sleep is a non-negotiable, just like food and water is a non-negotiable. But we're like, no, I'm fine. Sleep is crucial for cognitive function, for physical function. It's so hard to achieve goals if you're exhausted. And that's not a badge of courage. It is something that will absolutely derail you. Along with sleep, which is actual sleep, is rest. What's built into, back to daily rhythm, what's built into your schedule? Do you have think time in between? Do you have just rest time? So when I have calls stacked up, I leave myself 30 minutes in between each one. I just need to reset because I need to be great for the next person. And I can't do that if I'm just running like a dog. And I'm a probably lifetime insomniac, and I've spent a ton of time on sleep. This is a really, really tough one. So if you want to have a sidebar conversation, let me know. I don't have all the answers. Breathing is helpful. Most of us don't breathe. We shallow pant. It's not good for the body. And the last one in this is community. And so the previous wheel had relationships or social. Social is excellent, but we can spend a lot of time around people who do not bring us up, who do not bring out the best in us. community is being part of something that's larger than yourself. You all are part of my community, and you're much larger than me. And that is so fantastic. For a lot of people, it's church, it's school. We all find those communities. And I do believe that in the last couple of years, especially in light of the pandemic, when we couldn't get together and commune, we are all missing community a little bit. So I would encourage you to find those communities, whatever that is. I have a friend who's huge in dog rescue. That's her community. It's fantastic. So when you take the first wheel, and I'll pop these graphics up and y'all can think about it. I didn't have time to make like 16, all 16 there, but these are crucially important and they spin off that health wheel, and we don't talk about them enough. Our parents didn't talk about it. Our grandparents didn't talk about it. And so now here we sit thinking, why am I tired? Why am I exhausted? Why am I uninspired? Why do I feel stuck? Why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? Because we're not doing all of these things that create that. So I'm just going to wrap up. It is January. We're talking about goal setting, which is very important. But when we goal set on a specific outcome and we're not part of the goal, if your physical and mental well-being is not part of the goals that you're setting, you're probably not going to get there because at some point you're going to get really, really tired, really, really exhausted. So I would encourage you, if you've done a vision board already this year, excellent. I would encourage you to revisit that and think, what's missing out of those wheels? What am I doing for fun that brings joy to me? What am I doing that's part of community? What is larger than myself? And for many of you, your business, you found so much purpose in your business, which is absolutely what a business should be. But is it fulfilling you? Are you fulfilling the dreams or promises of someone else? Is it really speaking to your spirit, your mind, and your heart? What you're doing, do you need to tweak that? You need to shift your focus a little bit. So that was kind of tonight's topic. I do have a mastermind series launching soon. We're going to dig into this. I'm going to help you answer all these questions. But that was kind of it for this little mini series. Join me on Thursday at 12 noon Central Standard. That'd be 1 Eastern, with one of my dearest friends in the whole wide world, Jessica Gallant, who is a creative director. She helps brands brand and she helps them gain traction in social media. And this is really exciting. So it's great to get somebody on board to share who is having individual success in social media. Far different to get someone who helps entire companies. And she's worked for some companies. Y'all might be with a few of them. So she'll be here on Thursday, and I'll send out the reminder as always. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to pause this and then we'll take any private questions from people who popped on the Zoom. Maybe if I can figure out how to get out of here. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. It's been a bad tech night. I don't normally have bad tech nights, but I'm having one tonight. That's just odd. All right, let's see if I can get out of here. You know, it happens to the best of us. Stopping the live stream.